welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have exciting news. I'm excited, I'm happy, I'm over the moon. Please subscribe. This is how my car was paid up in just 1 year. Oh my goodness, it can only be God. But let me take you back a little bit. So few years ago, I think it was after everyone in the family had cars and I was the only one without a car. So my parents have been wanting to buy me a car for quite some time, but I was refusing because they told me that if we buy you a car, you must be able to maintain your car. You buy your own petrol. We are not going to do anything else. We buy you a car, make sure you have money for petrol to maintain the car, for service and everything. Because at the time I was not ready financially. I knew that I couldn't pay my own petrol, take care of the car, the things that will need to be fixed. So I knew that I was just not ready at the time. So I kept on refusing, even though they kept on saying you really need a car, especially when you're in Joburg, you're far from us, so you don't have any support when it comes to transport. So they were really worried because I didn't have a car when I'm here in Joburg. But when I was home, it was fun. They would share their cars with me when I'm home. I was not using public transport. Wherever I'm going, if I'm visiting my friends, wherever I want to go, I just tell them I want to go to the beach. Can you guys please borrow me a car? And then they will decide which car I'll take, my mom's or my dad's. So it was something like that, and I really enjoyed it. And also I really appreciated the fact that they were able to share their cars with me. I remember that I even had accidents with their cars, and at the time I didn't have money, and then they had to pay those costs. And also they even allowed me to continue driving their cars even after the accidents. So they've been wanting to buy me a car for quite some time, but I refused. 2021, I think it was early 2021, I was like, oh, I'm so ready now to have a car. But at the time I was like, financially I'm not okay, but to this year I'm ready. But I just, the money was just not money. So I think few months later, I think around August or before August. And then this time I'm making this decision now. I want the car. But as much as I want the car, I don't have the money to buy the car. And also I don't have a credit score. I have zero. So I was like, okay, it's fine. I approached my mom. I'm like, hey mommy, I think I'm ready for a car now. I don't know whether the offer is still standing. I'd love if the offer is still standing. And my mom was like, oh, okay, no problem. As long as you'll buy your own petrol, maintain your own car, we don't have a problem. And my mom said to me, just go back and start shopping for a car. And when you're done shopping, please send me the pictures. I want to see the cars you are opting for. So fine, I went back, I'm on Google, I'm searching, I'm like, okay. But remember, I'm shopping, but I'm not the one who's going to buy the car. So I was worried about the price a lot. I was like, okay, let me buy at least a car that will cost 120, 150, somewhere there, because now it's not my money. And also I didn't know the budget that they have, but they're just saying go and shop. But I'm like, okay, my parents are old, I don't expect them to buy me an expensive car. If it's 100, 120, 130, I think it's fine. So I went back to the site. I'm checking ish. I was checking cars from 2014, from 2016. And then when I was done shopping, I sent my mom the pictures. And that time, when I was shopping for the car, I knew that my car has to have leather seats because I'm a mom. I don't want my car to have stains and be dirty and all of that. I knew that I want my car to have rims. I feel like rims are just cool in a car. They make it look nice and all of that. And also, I knew that I want my car to have infotainment when I'm driving home, long distance. I want to be able to look at the screen where I'm going and Google, and yeah. So I had certain things that I was like, I'm not going to compromise on this one. And also the boot space was the big thing for me as well, because I know I like carrying stuff even if I'm not gonna use it. I even wanted the sunroof. I wanted something cool, but I was like, oh, but it doesn't need to be expensive because I'm not the one paying for the car. Fine. I sent the pictures to my mom. My mom checked and checked. My mom came back to me and she was like, I'm not impressed. One thing I don't like about the cars that you chose, they're from in 2014, 2016, 2018. And my mom was like, I feel like these are old cars. They will give you problems soon. So I suggest that you start looking for cars from 2021 or 2022. I'm like, okay, 2021 and 22. That's brand new cars. And my mom was like, and also when I was looking for a second-hand car because I'm not the one paying. I'm like, okay, a second-hand is fine. But my mom was like, no. I also suggest that you buy a brand new car. So look for a brand new car. I'm like, okay. My goodness, a brand new car. Okay, and it's my first car. Fine, I went back, I'm searching, but still, I'm like, the price. Oh, the price. Oh, so I was not really free, even though I was looking mostly for the 2022 model cars, but still I was not really free because I'm like, oh, the money. Oh, I'm not the one paying. It's my parents, and I need to be considerate. So I'm looking. Yeah, finally I got the list of the cars, send them back to my mom. Fine, my mom receives the cars, and my mom was not impressed for the second time. And that time, I mostly sent her cars for 2022, and they were all brand new. My mom was not impressed. Reason being, she was saying, "Oh, these are small cars, and I don't really like them." And I'm like, "Why, mommy?" And my mom was like, "I see yourself maybe driving a Mini Cooper or something." And I'm like, "Mommy, do you know how expensive a Mini Cooper is?" I'm like, "Mommy, a brand new Mini Cooper is like millions. So let's not even go there. No." And my mom was like, okay, if you're saying it's millions, then it's fine. We are not buying that one. And my mom was like, okay, I suggest that start looking at the SUVs. And I'm like, SUVs? I never saw myself with an SUV. And I don't know. I feel like SUVs are for grown-ups in a way. Yes, I am a grown-up, but for a first car, SUV in my early 30s. I was like, okay, I will check SUVs. So I went back, I'm checking SUVs. Oh, and also, I forgot to tell you that when my mom was saying she wanted me to have a big car, and she said, this is the budget, because I see that you are scared to increase the amount. My mom was like, okay, you can buy within this range. I was like, oh, I was not expecting this. Are you serious? She was like, yeah, it's fine. Check from this amount, from 100 and above, but not more than 400. Yeah, but fine. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. So I'm checking the SUVs. I'm checking, but I'm like, okay, these are nice. I was liking most of the car, but I realized that I don't really like the SUVs. I don't see myself having an SUV as my first car. And also I was afraid that the maintenance of the car is going to be more costly, buying tires, and I was just afraid. And also maybe the petrol was going to be more. And yeah, and also I had my own budget that I was willing to spend on a monthly basis to for petrol, for just for traveling and maintaining the car. So I was worried. I was like, oh, this SUV thing will not work for me because number one, I want to make sure that I do not overspend. I stick to the budget that I have. So I had to go back to my mom and try to convince her otherwise, to say, hey mommy, it's my first car, it's gonna be costly for me maintaining this car. I'm begging you, can we please buy a small car? I know that you want me to buy a big car. Maybe I can have it later in life, but it's my first car and I don't think it's a good idea for me to just start with a big car. I just want to test myself as well. How am I maintaining the car? How am I coping? And yeah, and my mom was like, okay, it's fine. If that's what you want, then it's fine. I was like, well, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna look for hatchback cars because I want the boot space as well. When I was doing my research, I saw a video on YouTube of Moses Sambo. He's reviewing cars. Oh my goodness. And I was sold. I watched all of his videos, like all of them, because I was like, I don't know which car that I want now. So I liked the reviews that he made when he was doing Suzuki cars. So he made a video about Baleno. Oh, I was sold. I liked the 360 camera all around. I like, there's so many features that I liked about the car, the boot space, everything. I was sold. I was like, oh, I like this car. And yeah, and then I saw this other video as well of his. Now he was reviewing a Swift. Oh, I was like, I'm buying this one. I was like, I like this one. I like the fact that it had two color tones. I liked that. I liked the rims. I liked the design. And also the other reason that made me liked the Suzuki Swift design was the fact that it looked like a Mini Cooper. It has that shape of a Mini Cooper, and my mom wanted me to have a Mini Cooper, but I was like, okay, let me just do a Swift, a brand new Swift. So I looked into Swift, and then they had three ranges for Swift. They have GA, they had GL, and then GLX, and then GLX Sport. I was like, the Sport was 300 and something, but I was like, is it worth the price? I was like, no, it's not worth the price. I decided to buy the GLX, which was one of the top ranges. It had the infotainment screen, but it didn't have the leather seats. I liked the fact that it was fuel efficient as well. I liked the two color tone. I wanted to have like black at the top and then the white in the middle. I was like, oh, the rims on point. I was like, I see myself in this car. Somebody that sold that car to me was Moses Sambo. Please go and check him out. His reviews are just, especially if you want to buy a car. I sent my mom. My mom was not happy. I had to convince. And so after 2 months of shopping, my mom was like, okay, we can start the process of buying a car. And then we started the process. they started sending documents to my mom to sign and around. And end of October 2022, my mom had to come now physically, because they said there are certain documents that needs to be signed physically. She needs to come physically and sign those papers. Also, they cannot release the car without her coming to the dealer. So my mom came all the way from Eastern Cape to come and sign for a car so that they release the car. And she arrived in the morning. Same day we went to the dealer. We signed the papers. We saw the car, but I was disappointed because I wanted a two-color tone, black at the top, white, and the mirrors were supposed to be black as well. But when the guy that was selling us the car, he came back to say, I couldn't get, it's difficult to get that car with two-color tone, and your mom has already signed for this one, and mommy doesn't have a problem. Hey, we were so mad, me and my mom. I'm apologizing. Now he's giving us a car that is all white, not what I wanted. I was so mad. I was really mad. I was like, no, this is not what I wanted. I showed you what I wanted. How I added an extra of leather seats. I think the leather seats they costed me 12,500, which was additional to the amount of the car. I think the final amount was 400 and something, including interest and everything. It was 400 and something. Fine. And also the installment, they told us the monthly installment is going to be 4,700 and something as well. We requested them to release the car for that weekend because my mom was here in Joburg and we needed a car to move around and to go and visit my sister. And then they gave us the car for the weekend. And then following week when my mom is gone, I had to return the car back so that they can install the leather seats. Fine. They released the car. My mom received the keys, and yeah, we're excited. We drove and we decided to visit my sister. My sister was not aware. It was a surprise for everyone. I think only 2 or 3 people that knew that I'm buying a car. It was just wanted to surprise everyone. And then my mom left. And then I had to wait for about 2 weeks for them to install the leather seats. They released the car. So when we were buying the car, number one, we bought the car using finance. We did not put any deposit. There was no balloon payments, and yeah, total amount that we will need to pay over a period of 6 years. I received the car in November 2022. That means in December you won't pay any installment towards the car. When December came, me and my mom, we had an agreement that she'll be paying for the car. While she's paying for the car, I will also pay for the car. And remember that the monthly installment was 4,700 and something. But my mom and I decided to round it off to 5,000 every month. My mom is gonna pay 5, and then I'm gonna pay 5 each and every month. That meant that we paid for 2 months in 1 month. So yeah, that's how we did it. So in December, they usually skip the first month. You do not pay the first month or the first 2 months. Usually do not pay. So me and my mom, we decided, no, we are paying even in December. So even though the bank is not going to debit, we're gonna transfer because we requested for their payment details so that we can save them on our bank apps. We decided to transfer. My mom transferred her 5,000. I transferred my 5,000. That That was 10,000. Fine. And when we started with this, the aim was to finish the car in 2 years or 3 years. That was the aim. We didn't want to reach the 6 years. January came. In January, we were expecting them to debit from my mom, but they didn't debit. Remember, in December, we transferred because usually they skip the first month. And then January came, now they are not debiting. And I transferred on my side. And then my mom decided to call them and find out why they didn't debit. My mom calls, she's like, I see that you guys did not debit, you were supposed to debit. And they said, no, the reason we did not debit, it is because we saw that you paid double in December, meaning that you were paying for December and January. That is why we did not debit. My mom was like, no, let's transfer as we usually do. Fine, my mom transferred and I transferred. And then we continued like that for a few months. Now the bank is no longer debiting, we are transferring. Until my mom decided to take her bonus and put it towards the car. So my mom paid her bonus and I transferred my 5,000, and my mom transferred her 5,000 that she usually transfers. So meaning in that month we paid the usual 10,000 that we pay plus the bonus. After 2 weeks or a week, we see that the bonus amount is not reflecting on when we are checking the statements. And my mom called the bank again to say, guys, I paid you this huge amount. I see that you guys, it's not reflecting with regards to the car. Can you please check for me? And then they came back. They're like, hi, mama, we don't see that amount. My mom was like, no, there is no way. It's the same banking details that we usually use. Check that amount. And then eventually they came back to say, okay, we see the amount, but we were not aware that you are paying for the car. But my mom is like, the reference is the same as the car. How come you are saying you guys are not sure that I'm paying for the car, but the reference is for the car? And I want it to reflect on my app that this amount has been paid. I want to see a change with regards to the money. After that call, there was a change now. The money dropped. Then they decided now to reduce the installment. Remember, our monthly installment was 4,700 and something, but now the installment is no longer 4,000. Came back and now the installment is 700 and something. This is shocking. And my mom was like, we are going to continue paying the 5,000 that we are paying. We are not changing anything. Now we are continuing paying our 10,000 even after that huge payment. Continued paying. And then all of a sudden, now the bank is changing. Now they are debiting. But now when they're debiting, they are not debiting the 700. Now they're debiting 4,700. So when they started doing that, remember now, it was the first time the bank debited from my mom's account, and it was towards the end of 2023 now. They did not notify my mom to say, we're gonna start debiting. So what happened is I transferred my 5,000. My mom transferred her 5,000. And then we paid 10,000 that month. And then they debited again 4,700. Meaning my mom paid double and I paid for the third time. And my mom was like, this is such a huge inconvenience on my cost, on my monthly cost, because now I'm paying double for the car. And but my mom was like, I am not going to call the bank again and ask them why they're doing that, but at the same time I will continue transferring the money even if now they are debiting. So I think for about four 4 or 3 months they were doing that. My mom is transferring, I am transferring, the bank is debiting, meaning my mom paid twice. Fine, continued. That time we are also keeping an eye on the settlement amount. So the aim was to reach a certain amount so that we can settle the car. Mom was like, I think, remember, the aim was to finish this car maybe in 2 years or 3 years, but I see that this car is just going down like crazy. And my mom was like, I think in January or February we'll be done with this car. We paid for January 2024, and my mom was like, your last payment is February. And then February I paid, my mom paid as usual, the bank debited as usual, because that was what was happening, and took her money on her savings and she settled the car. Remember, when she was settling, she had to go to the bank to do the settlement. Went to the bank physically, did the whole process, and fine. After a week, we saw that still was not reflecting, and my mom called again to say, guys, I paid this amount to settle the car. I see that it's not showing on my app. Can you please check for me? They came back. They're like, yes, we saw the money, but you're still owing us. You're still owing us 45,000. And my mom is like, where is the 45,000 coming from? Because now, when I went to the bank to settle, that was the settlement amount that was there. Where is the 45 coming from now? Oh, it's not reflecting on the system that you are settling the car. We thought you are just paying. The person that was helping me at the bank, I told that person that I am settling the car. So it's the fault on your side and you guys need to fix it, because all I know, I'm done with the car. I'm expecting the papers for the car. They're like, okay, mama, we're gonna sort you out. Ha ha ha, hey. Oh, we're gonna check, yeah, the systems and what. Fine. So now the car is fully paid, and they came back to my mom to say she must wait for 7 working days for the car papers to be delivered to her. And yeah, we are still waiting for the 7 days to elapse. When I calculated the number of months that we were able to pay off the car, it's 15 months. We paid for a brand new car within a period of 15 months. I'm shocked, I'm amazed, I feel blessed, I'm happy. But when I did all the calculations to see the amount that we saved towards the car, because remember, the car, we were supposed to pay for it in a period of 6 years, but we paid it in a period of 1 year, and we saved, like, we had about another 5 years of paying for it, but we were able to pay it within a short space of time. I think we saved about 100 and something on interest, or like close to 200. Like, we saved a lot of money, and I think that is why the bank kept on coming up with different tricks to just derail us from our plan. That is why the first time they decided not to debit, because they wanted us to stop paying the amount. And then when they saw that we are continuing, they decided to reduce the installment, but they saw that we are not changing. And then now they decided to debit, to confuse us, to frustrate us. Yes, we were frustrated. Yes, we were broke in the process. Yes, it affected us financially. We had to adjust. We had to maneuver. When I'm broke, when my mom is broke, we help each other in that way. All I can say with regards to this journey, this process, it was frustrating. But we are here, we are relieved, and also I cannot thank you enough to my parents for their support, for the things that they continue to do for me. As much as I'm mentioning my mom now, even my dad had a huge contribution in the process. It's not like he was not aware that my mom was paying for my car, and while my mom was paying for my car, my dad was paying my rent. I really appreciate them for the sacrifices that they make. They even have words to express how grateful I am for them, the love, the support, everything that they continue to do for us. I feel blessed to have them. I never thought it was possible to pay for a car within a period of 15 months. And I'm just gonna give you a few tips just in case you want to finish paying for a big thing within a short space of time. So the first and the most important tip I can give you: pray for everything before you buy. It's not about money. Even if you have the money to buy it, pray for it. Pray even in the process of you planning for it. Involve God. If you believe in God, please pray for it. Ask for God's guidance. Ask for God to provide. Ask God to be part of the process. Ask God to intervene in the whole process. You will see things will just be much easier. You pray before, you pray during, you pray after. You do not stop praying for whatever. So that was one thing that worked for me. I prayed even before I approached my mom. I decided to pray. I was like, Lord, when I go to my mom and I tell my mom that I am ready now to have a car, I'm praying that she doesn't reject. I'm praying that she will receive, and she is in a financial state that they can buy me the car. And yeah, and that was the case. My mom was so welcoming, my dad was so welcoming, everyone was just so welcoming of the idea. Like nje, it was just easy for me in that way. And then even during the process of us paying for the car, I just didn't stop praying for my car. So remember, these things are just spiritual. You claim it from the spiritual, and then you maintain it spiritually. I remember 2023 in February, I had an accident with my brand new car. Remember, the car, I received it in November, December, January, February, third month, I had an accident with my car, and I didn't have a car for a full month of March in 2023. It was frustrating, it was sad, it was bad. I was waiting for my car to be fixed. But you do not stop praying. I prayed. Eventually my car came back. It was good. Yeah. And also the second tip that I can give you is that it's better when two people are paying than when one is paying. Because if one person is paying, then that means it's gonna take them longer to pay for the car or for the house. So if there are two incomes in the household, I suggest that you help each other, pay it together, you pay it within a short space of time, and you will see the difference. So the other tip that I can give you is that be willing to make sacrifices, hey? Especially if you know that you have a certain goal that you want to achieve. Make sure that you are willing to make sacrifices. You cannot live a certain life whereas you want this. You must be willing to let go of some of the things. Maybe you cut down on entertainment, you cut down on certain things. Just be willing. You don't play with money. Don't spend money unnecessarily. Even paying extra is killing the interest. So they will be disciplined. Make sure that you do not skip a month without paying. Do not skip a month. Please don't. Pay each and every month. Be on time and pay. And also the other thing is that buy something that you can afford. Buy something that is within your budget that you can afford. Don't buy things because of peer pressure, just because you want to show off. And also the other thing I can say, do not compare yourself with other people. Just don't. We have different backgrounds, our situations are just different, and yeah, and be content where you are in life, where God has put you. The other tip that I have is that if for example you are working and you have a bonus, you have an extra cash, don't just eat the money unnecessarily. Pay the money towards your whatever you are paying. If you are paying for the car, pay towards the car. Put your bonus towards the car. If you are paying for a house, pay the money towards your house. The aim is to reduce the interest. Don't just chow and what and no. And also if you have savings whatsoever, just take it out. If you are able, take it out, pay towards. Check the settlement amount. Keep an eye, monitor it. That was how my car was paid up in just 1 year. Just one. Still waiting for the papers. Goodbye.